Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is, I got the mute button off. Okay, I'm good. Today is Monday, March 25th, 2024. And I was actually going to take today off. You know, Monday is Mental Health Mondays. And after this weekend, we'll go more into that, I believe, tomorrow. But first, I want to say thank you to everyone that came out this weekend, that was a part of the 4 years of Java. Starting on Friday, we did a walkthrough over at 135 Morsi Boulevard. And then also we had the Red Cup Awards on Friday evening. And then Saturday, we had the day party at Stella. Thank everyone that purchased tickets, that came, that showed up, that supported the platform. Your support does not go unnoticed. But this morning, we have someone with us. And so I'll talk more about the anniversary later on this week, but I'd like to get ready to introduce to some and present to others. And I'm so glad for Coria Holland, who came out on Saturday to make this connection for us. We're going to talk with Dr. Gomez, who started out, she's going to tell her story. She has a very unique and interesting story around her ascension in leadership at the pretrial court here in Suffolk County. And so without further ado, I would like to present to some and introduce to others Dr. Carmen Gomez, who's going to chat with us about all that she's doing. But before she starts, go ahead, Dr. Gomez, and say hello, greet the folks. We'll go a little bit into your story and then hear about the things that's going on down at the pretrial court. But good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
I am. You want me to be honest? I'm tired. When I get off of here, I'm done for the day.
I saw some of the pictures, so I can see why you're a little tired.
Yeah. You did. All right. Greet the folks and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. So good morning, everyone. I'm really pleased to be here today. Thank you for the invitation. So Carmen Gomez, I am a resident of, Chelsea, actually. I've been in the community for many years. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, came here to Boston at the age of 15, graduated, went on to college, started a job with the Massachusetts Probation Service 27 years ago. As many of you know, sometimes a difficult process.
Wait. You said 27 years ago?
27 years ago.
I'm about to get you back because, and I don't want to get in trouble. I know, we got to be, I hope you would take this in the spirit. I'm saying it. You don't, quote unquote, look like you've been working anywhere for nobody's 27 years, but go ahead. I that just couldn't get past me. I'm sitting here and I'm like, really? Okay, go ahead, Dr. Gomez.
Thank you. I mean, I tell people that I started around 5.
Okay, yeah, we'll go there. You're a prodigy. You're a prodigy. Yes. Go ahead and share your story with us. Absolutely.
Of course. Yeah. So, like I said, I started in the trial court 27 years ago in different positions. One of the ones that I think I not enjoy the most, but I really feel that I had the biggest impact was as probation officer, both in the Middlesex Probate and Family Court and then Suffolk Superior Court, which covers all of the Boston area, as well as Winthrop and Revere and Chelsea. And then I was promoted to Chief Probation Officer of the Chelsea District Court, and I was there for about 10 years. For me, it was really just, a very exciting and proud opportunity because I not only, became chief, but I became chief in a community that is predominantly Hispanic. So I was able to represent my community in so many different ways. I then became regional supervisor for Essex County and a portion of Middlesex County. I held that position for almost 2 years before I was promoted last month to Deputy Commissioner of Pretrial Services. In addition to, all the work that I've done in the trial court, I have always been very involved in the community. I served on many committees. I have taught at different colleges and universities in the area of criminal justice. I have assisted both all local, state, and federal governments in several aspects of criminal justice. And now I am in this position for the last 4 years. We have been celebrating Women's History Month, which is something I'm really proud of and that I hope that we can promote today because that's happening on Wednesday. In 2020, I had the idea to have an event to celebrate the woman not only in the trial court but the woman in our communities, because unfortunately it was not an event that had been celebrated prior. And so the first two were held virtually, and then the third one was a hybrid event which took place in the Chelsea High School, in which we had Gloria Steinem as our keynote.
Okay.
And yes, and so we had a lot of people both in person as well as virtually. And now this year, we are going to celebrate Women's History Month on Wednesday, March 27th at the Edward Kennedy Institute, located at 210 Morrissey Boulevard here in our community. We try to keep, we want to share with everybody, but I really like to celebrate things locally to make sure that our people show up and join us and ask questions and are part of the change and sort of the paradigm shift that's happened in the trial court for the last several years in terms of inclusion, in terms of diversity, in terms of promoting community engagement. And so it's something that I'm really proud of. And it's not just me. We have a whole committee of women who are dedicated and committed to this event, including Coria Holland, Communications Director of the Massachusetts Probation Service. We have Chief Justice Nectum of the Juvenile Court, Jessica Roman Alvarez, who is from the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Office, and we have Martha Soto from Interpreting Services, and Jennifer Brady, who is the Chief Probation Officer in the Hingham District Court. So among us, we make this event happen. It takes a lot of work, but it's worth it. It's something that, like I said, we're really passionate about, and we want to make sure that it continues. We have honored over 20 women from the community and throughout Massachusetts communities. So it's something that is again happened, and it's a free event. We will provide lunch. We ask people to register because we want to make sure that we have enough. We're also going to provide a book by author Jennifer DeLeon, which the title is "Don't Ask Me Where I'm From." This year's theme is women who advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we thought that was a really fitting book for us to give out to people to read. She is an extraordinary person, and I hope that at some point that you have her on your show, because she's somebody that really inspires many and shares our vision to make sure that we continue to fight for equality, diversity, and inclusion.
Dr. Gomez, I often tell people, I have my notes here from Anissa and whatnot, but I often tell people I feed off of the energy and the response of my guests. And so there's a few things to unpack in your introduction, and also the event that you're talking about on Wednesday. And so I would be remiss if I did not ask you, in this time of so much going on and this often appearance of inclusiveness and diversity, and then when it really comes down to it, may not have the action that's needed behind the notion of the idea. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, you being a woman, presumably Latina woman, how important is it? I'm looking at a little bit of the notes here, and you talk about your ascension, starting out, I believe, as a deputy clerk, and now you are the interim or deputy chief. What is your role right now? Because you've done a few things. What are you doing right now?
I am Deputy Commissioner for Pretrial Services. Yes.
So coming up through the ranks is just important. How important is it for folks of your demographic, women of color, to be in leadership? And especially, we know that it's more men of color that are involved in the court system, but especially having that voice of a woman for women who may not be represented in these rooms. And we know that y'all represent us all the time. And so, can you just speak to the fact of the importance of people like you in your role?
So I will tell you, I am the first Hispanic man or woman to hold this position. I was the first Hispanic to hold.
We have sound effects here. That little applause will go in there. It just absolutely, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just excited to hear that.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, it also, I think that I have to mention that, Commissioner Palmerston Eiffel is the first, not only person of color, but first Black man to be appointed to this position. And he's the excuse me, he's the one who appointed me to replace him because he was the previous deputy commissioner for pretrial services. So, and he's somebody that I have worked with for over 25 years. So in terms of the agency, in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion, I will say I'm not interested in the image of, I want to make sure that this is, this is in fact, part of our fabric, not only in the trial court, but throughout the Commonwealth. I have had the opportunity and the privilege to be part of a committee to move the needle to make sure that all courts have representation, because as you said, the majority of the folks that are coming before the court are people of color.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we want to make sure that there is representation, and not only that, but we want to make sure that the folks in the community understand that we have gone through a paradigm shift to make sure that these are things that we are advancing, that we're focusing on, that has to be the foundational in terms of the work that we do. As you know, historically, the courts have not been a place where people of color have found justice. It has not been a place where people of color have felt welcome or have felt that there's a safe space for them. And so that is something that I'm really committed to make sure that we change. And we change that by bringing people into, into the trial court to do all types of job. When I started 27 years ago, the majority of the folks who worked in the system who looked like me were either working in facilities or in entry-level positions. That has changed significantly. And I will say that although it's taken this long for somebody like me to hold this position, that is happening. And it's now my responsibility to make sure that we continue, because my appointment means a lot to me, but it doesn't mean anything if I'm going to be the last one.
Listen.
Right? We have to make sure that we continue to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in a way that is really tangible, in a way that, it makes a difference in, again, not about the image. It's about the numbers. It's about, bringing the numbers in. And once that we have the numbers, to make sure that the folks that are here feel included, that they feel that they've treated the same, that they feel that there is equity, that there are opportunities for them to grow. I tell people all the time, when I hire people, I hire future commissioners, I hire future court administrators, future judges. I want to make sure that I bring people into the system that not only look like me, but that also look like the community, and that are people that are motivated to continue to grow the same way that I did, and I have for the last 27 years.
I just love the energy, and I love you mentioned Pemerson, and
Yes.
every time he's been on here, he is one that gives us hope around people who are in the system that understand and are not there working to keep people in the system, but working to support them while they're there and help and ensure they're expediting them getting out the system. And so again, and even in that last response, there was so much to unpack. But one of the things you talked about is community engagement. And I just want to pause for a minute and thank you for naming the importance of you being the first and not being the last. I like how you said that, people may come in at one position, but you're telling them, you're hiring them to be the next commissioner and be the next this and administrator. And so again, it's good to know that folks like you are in this system. One of the things that you named was that the engagement piece, and Pemerson has mentioned this before, but I know one of the things you want to mention along with the celebration on Wednesday was also that there is a lot of intentionality about how pretrial services engage with the community. And so can you share a couple of ways, and we'll talk about one major way, but can you share a couple of ways that your department is doing that?
Yeah, so, and I know that this is something the commissioner has talked about on the show before, but I think it's worth mentioning again. So we provide mass health registration to all folks that come through the courts, and that can happen at any point. It doesn't, and honestly, it can happen even when they're done with cases. If they want to come back and we can provide them with those services, absolutely, that is what we're here to do.
Remember what I said a couple of minutes ago? We're glad that you have the services, but most of the folks probably once they get out of the system. I had to. I'm sorry. Just a little joy there. But it's awesome to hear that if folks want to, even though they're done, they can come back.
Absolutely. And you know what? And I say that every time that we go to a recovery court graduation, a fatherhood program, a womanhood program, I tell people, come back. We want to hear from you. We want to know how you're doing. There is nothing better than to go to the counter when I was in Chelsea or in Suffolk Superior Court and have somebody that I supervised years ago who wants to come back and tell us how great they're doing. Right? You know, that really that is the, essentially the validation that we need and the reminder that the work that we do is important.
Yes, ma'am.
You know,
Yes, ma'am.
in addition to that, this is something that was implemented with Commissioner Eiffel when he was in this position, but we have text reminders. People sign up when they come into court, and then they are reminder, no different than how the dentist's office or the doctor's office remind us to go to to the hospital, to the dentist office. We now remind folks to come to court, and that has seen a significant increase in the folks coming into court and not defaulting, which is, can present additional issues when they come back to court, whether it's because you forgot, whether it's intentional or not. The reality is that it can have negative consequences when people come back to court. And so we're finding ways and looking for ways to make sure that we minimize. The reality is that we know that the folks that we deal with, a good portion of our clients, have a lot of challenges and barriers. We're looking for ways to eliminate those barriers and to make this process just a little bit easier. Pretrial service is really, really important. And this is something that I'm really committed to, continuing and also improving. The reality is that this is a point in which we can help people by providing them with services and resources. But this is also a point of exit. When people come into court, right? And if we identify those folks that could be diverted, right? Let's do that. So people don't have to be arraigned. People don't have to have that charge on the record, which again, you know very well can have long lasting negative consequences for them in the future, regardless of whether that case is dismissed or not. Right. So we want to make sure that we are being proactive, that we are taking the measures and we're being intentional. And we want to make sure that the work that we do is meaningful. Right. It's not just about, I tell people all the time that for years I've been calling the system the criminal legal system, because the reality is that justice wasn't happening all the time. I want to change that to the criminal justice system where people, regardless of what brings them to us, they feel that justice is taking place in our courts throughout the Commonwealth.
Are you going to stop right when I sat back and got comfortable because you were doing your? I mean, it. Sometimes I get texts and say people are saying, Jimmy, we can see your reactions and whatnot. As you may not know, but you referred to that. I know that, I used to be in the juvenile system, and I know a lot of people in the adult system. And again, to hear this intentionality, it is refreshing. And I like how you say the criminal legal system. We say justice out of familiarity and conditioning, and we just say that. But some years ago, I heard people like Wasan Hall and others, Michael Curry, talk about the criminal legal system, because there really isn't a lot of justice. And the hardest of the system, as Mike used to say, just us, being impacted. And so I really, I'm excited to hear that is the approach that folks like you and Parmesan are taking in supporting people as well. So we know about Mass Health. We know about the tech service. Is there anything else that pretrial service offers besides welcoming people back to tell their stories? Do you ever do any, do you bring those that have exited? And I love how you said that your goal, people talk about entry points. You talk about the exit point. Do you ever bring people back to talk to current people who are on probation, just to give them, people may have 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, and mentally that's a lot,
Yes.
just to know that's weighing over your head. And so have you ever, just off the top of my head, have you all ever done that?
Absolutely. And not only that, but we have actually brought people to work for us who were initially in the system. And it's something that we're trying to promote. People with, non-criminal I'm not, I shouldn't say nonviolent,
Yep.
Minor cases, it should not prevent them from having a job with us. And it's something that we're really talking about. So we've brought people who have, for example, graduated from recovery court to come back and be speakers at the graduations, to come back and talk to the current participants, to to empower them and to let them know that this is possible.
Yes.
Is, whether it's mental health, substance abuse, these are issues that really affect people, homelessness, food insecurities, all of these things. So we're trying to connect people. Actually, last year, one of the honorees at the Women's History Month is a woman who did hard time, right? She was in the system for a really long time. And now she has a program in the Boston area for women. And these are the women, she did time in Framingham. Now she's coming back and bringing the women that are currently being released to her program to make sure that she provides them with the resources, services, and the opportunity that maybe she didn't have throughout those years. Right. And so these are people, we want people to come back. The trial court is a place of second chances. It should be a place of second chances. It's also a place of accountability. We want to make sure that if people do wrong, that they are held accountable, but that should not be the end all be all, and that should not indicate the end of their lives, right? Because we have a responsibility to victims, we have a responsibility to our communities, but we also have a responsibility to the defendants who come through our court, to make sure that when they're done with us, they're in a much better place than they were when they first came in.
Even with parents and on and whatnot, and knowing that we have folks like them in the system, it is just I'm again like stuttering, because experience of others advocating for people in the system, what you're articulating there, Dr. Gomez, has not been many folks' experience. And so that's why there's this intentionality. But as much as I'm aware of Pamerson's approach, to hear you here reiterating that again is just like, wow. You know what I mean? It because of my familiarity with a lot of folks that look like you and I, and our experience, it's just, I won't say dumbfounding, but it's very good, interesting to hear that this is the approach. And my hope is, and I know that you and Pamerson are doing this intentionally, that this trickles down, because often it's usually the reverse. At the top, sometimes there's capitalism and stuff within organizations and the wrong motives, and the people on the ground are the ones that are really working. And often in this space, those that are doing a direct service, you may run into folks that may not have the same philosophy. And so my hope is that this philosophy and approach is trickling down to those that are actually doing the supervising. If I may ask, how do you ensure that how you and Pamerson are approaching this, how do you ensure that this hits every direct service provider for those that are on pretrial probation?
Of course, through accountability. We got to make sure that everybody is on board. Managers are on board. Managers are now, but I will say, the majority of the people who come into the system, they come into the system because they want to help people. And
Okay.
then sometimes we find ourselves with barriers, right? With sort of red tape and different things that prevent us from doing all the work that we want to do. Those are the barriers. And it's not just the commissioner, it's the court administrator, it's the chief justices in the courts now, that are really being intentional, talking about intentionality. They're being intentional about the message that's going out, not just within the trial court, but out to the community. It is okay for people to hold us accountable. It is okay for people to expect a higher level of standard and ethic when it comes to our staff, right? It's no longer okay for anybody to go to a probation counter, to a clerk's counter, and be mistreated or disrespected. This has to be a dignified process. I will tell you, when I came here, I didn't speak the language, right? So I had a lot of challenges around learning the language. I came here at 15 and it was a struggle, right? And we want to make sure that people are not going through that. We want to make sure that anybody who comes through our counter, regardless of what language they speak, they have the services that they need. And so I do have to say, this goes beyond the commissioner. This goes beyond, the probation department. The trial court as a whole is being very intentional about making sure that we are taking the necessary steps and that people understand. So there's been a ton of trainings that have been available. The reality is that we're not going to have full buy-in from everybody, but I'm a true believer that when we have the majority rules, right? When everybody starts moving towards accountability, when everybody starts moving towards our mission of treating people with dignity and respect, that the other ones, right, will have to follow suit.
Okay. There was so much again in that one. And I love how you said the other ones, and thank you also for sort of in a nice way pulling my coattail and saying, because again, my reference points are what they are. But thank you for clarifying that, the majority of the folks there go into the service in a thing not to be punitive, but actually going in to help. And, as you acknowledge, sometimes there's some bad actors and the other ones, but listening to you, those are now, and it's so interesting to say, those are now the minority in that system where the majority is working for equity. And so, Dr. Gomez, this was a good way to I'm glad I didn't take the day off and come talk with you today. Is there anything that we missed? I want to review. Actually, before we review, and you'll find this interesting, it's a different population to ensure that Mass Health knows that they are eligible for insurance. But we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with you.
For the innovators, the dreamers, the risk takers, independent workers who keep our neighborhoods thriving, Connector Care from the Massachusetts Health Connector has plans for every lifestyle and budget.
Having access to affordable healthcare is for everyone in our community.
Connector Care plans help more people save on healthcare that covers all their needs. Find out if you qualify for Connector Care. Visit mahealthconnector.org or call 1-877-MA-ENROLL.
So, Dr. Gomez, that is another initiative that we're involved with to make sure, in another vein, 1099ers, which I'm sure, some folks for various reasons, maybe Corey or whatever, out there hustling in a good way to make sure that they keep income coming in. So we want to remind folks that 1099ers are eligible for Connected Care. And so let's just review what we talked about today. There's the event on Wednesday that is taking place at the Kennedy Courthouse. If you have the ability, you can cut and paste. If there's a link, we do stuff here. We do production and in real time. If there's a link for Wednesday for folks to register as you would like them to, if you can put it in the private chat,
Okay.
I can cut and paste it and put it in the comments so folks can link if they would like to come out on Wednesday.
Okay.
And then the other piece is, as we just mentioned, Mass Health for Connected Care, but also if you were on probation, you can speak with your probation officer. And I think when Pearson was last here, most of the probation officers is somebody in every office, at least one person is trained in every office in how to walk clients through Mass Health applications. Am I remembering right?
Yes. So there at every community justice support center, there is somebody who is now certified to sign people up for Mass Health. But every probation counter, when people come, they should be able to assist them and make an appointment and make those connections for people to come back and sign up for it. So it doesn't matter, but we have enough folks. We have also probation, the folks from the pretrial service who have also been certified to do that. So either way, whether it's through the Justice Center, Support Center, or through the probation department, through the PSOCs, we should be able to connect people. Regardless, just come. We will make sure that you sign up and we get you signed up for Mass Health.
Absolutely. And also the tech service. Is there, they speak to their probation officer if they want the tech service, or do they need to sign up with you?
Also come to the probation department. It usually happens at the intake, but if at any point your phone number changes, just come back and let us know, because we want to make sure that we update that information and that you get the reminders. Because at the end of the day, what we really want is people to get reminders and not to default, not for a warrant to be issued.
Okay. All right, Dr. Gomez, this was well worth my Mental Health Monday. Because again, it's just good to know. I have, a couple of family members, friends, community that are in the system for whatever reason. And it's just good to know that this change and this equity is happening even in a system. This is supposed to be about recidivism and what's the other word? Rehabilitation. That's an interesting word. But again, it's just good to know that folks like you and Permerson, Chief Eiffel, let me give him his respect, Dr.
Commissioner Eiffel.
Commissioner Eiffel. I was going to say a whole different last name now. And Coria as well. I got to see her on Saturday. Do you know what she did?
What did she do?
She came up and introduced herself to me. When I tell you, I know her.
Oh,
So I caught an attitude, and I think her and my mother either know each other. They went to girls' high or something. They're probably in the comments here talking or whatever.
Yeah.
But Dr. Gomez, I really appreciate you. Do you have the link for Wednesday?
I will. I have no idea how to do it while I have you here. So what I'm going to do is, I think if Coria is listening,
I'll post it.
Ask her, but we will definitely get it to you, and you can post it on your website.
Let me see. Coria's usually watching. Let me see if she posted. Look. It's right here.
Oh,
so
very good.
In the comments, everybody, you can click that link right there. If you have the ability, what time on Wednesday? The Edward Kennedy Courthouse is over by JFK Station. So what time on Wednesday so folks can plan and know what time to go?
So just the correction is the Edward Kennedy Institute.
What did I say?
Which is right next to the courthouse, right? You want to make sure that people go to the right place. It's a 210 Morrissey Boulevard, right next to the JFK Library. But Jimmy, if I may, there's something that I really want to say, because I don't want to minimize this, right? And I think it's really important that everybody understands individuals' reference points, right? And the reality is that people have different experiences when they come to the court. They have different experiences when they are exposed to the system. And I never want to take that away. What we're doing, it's separate from their experiences. So we want to hear about those experiences. We want to make sure that those experiences are as positive as possible, taking into consideration that people are here for, a criminal behavior. But that aside, everybody who comes through our doors should be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of what offense, regardless of what community they come from, regardless of their resources, in status in the community, status in life. Everybody should be treated with dignity and respect. And the court system should be a place of hope, not only for the victims, not only for the community, but for the folks who come through our system because of certain behaviors that they have done. So I just want to make sure that we don't take away from that, because we have to be very mindful that everybody has their own reference points and find ways to make sure that we are providing people with what they need and not what we think they need.
Some of y'all need to run for office. With that being said, I'm going to get ready to get off of here before I get in trouble, because you're tapping into the little activist side of me. And so, Dr. Gomez, I appreciate you. We celebrate you as we're getting ready to close out Women's History Month. Women's History is 25/8, not just 24/7, because you all go hard for us. Thank you as an individual, Carmen, with all due respect, for what you do and just your philosophy and integrity when it comes to ensuring that people are treated with equity and justice when they're in the system, no matter their entry point. Your point is to make sure that there's an exit and an expedient and comprehensive and a whole exit. So we appreciate you. You all put some love in the comments. Corey, I'm sure we'll go back and share them with Dr. Gomez as well, but show some love there for Dr. Gomez. Please give Commissioner Eiffel my best. And Corey knows anytime you all need to share information, make sure that you get it to us.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. Bye.
Listen, folks, this is the type of folks we need to know that are in the system, that are helping and trying to get, I look bright. I should have turned the light down this morning. I need some sun too. But I enjoyed Dr. Gomez there. Listen, we're going to get ready to wrap up this morning. UCB, you get an hour this morning. Again, I want to thank everyone that came out this weekend, whether you came on Friday to the walkthrough over at, which will eventually, I guess, morph into Java with Jimmy Studios, or if you came to the Red Cup Awards on Friday evening. Shout out to Long Live Roxbury, who is a partner, Michael Feldman, and Jessica over at Long Live Roxbury. Thank you. We've been there the last 2 Fridays, and they have welcomed us, and we've had a great time there. Folks have tried the Red Eye Java, and it definitely is an experience. Also, and I'll get more into this later this week, but thank you to Estella, everybody that came out that purchased tickets, even purchasing tickets, but wasn't able to attend and just did that for support. I really, really appreciate you. I have to thank the Davis system. I have to thank Anthony, Aaron, also Anissa and Ton as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you did to make me. It was the first, I was getting dressed and I stood there and I was like, oh, I had, normal event anxiety, but my brain's not racing around. Who's checking in? Who's doing tickets? Who's doing this? Who's printing out the list? Who's checking with the restaurant? Who's putting up the banner? I didn't have to do none of that. And this isn't the Davis. They do it, but they're more strategy and whatnot. They're doing events just because they love me and they want to make sure it looks good. So thank you to the Davis system. Also keep Pops Davis in your prayers. He's recovering well. Y'all see him on social media, but keep them in your prayers as well. Also want to let you all know that this Thursday, we will be live from Grace by Nia. We are interviewing Nia Grace this Thursday at 9 a.m. at Grace by Nia on the Seaport. When I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this interview. That is my sister, my friend, business mentor, life mentor. And we have some very good conversations. Y'all aren't going to get a purview into all of that, but you might get some. But this Thursday, we are going live. Pam, I love you too, and thank you. It's so much appreciated. And the reminder, I saw it this week, but seeing it and writing and articulated as well. Thank you, love, and appreciate you. But this Thursday, we will be with Nia from Grace by Nia, from Darrell's, from the Underground. I'm telling y'all don't want to miss this conversation. This really should be an after dark. But what I mean by that is Nia has a lot of life experience, and she has experience in moving in the hospitality industry, but just in that she just and this working on a cruise thing, and y'all find out on Thursday. And as I proudly say, there are certain people in this city, in the country, and around the world that nobody can interview them like me. And Nia is definitely one of them. So make sure you plan to join us on Thursday. Love you always too, Pam. Thank you so much. Love you a lot because I'll be here on the 8th. But I'm getting off of here, everyone. Again, thank you to everyone. We'll put pictures and videos up later on this week. Miss Teresa, thank you for all that you do. Oh, everybody was talking about my earrings. I have Java with Jimmy earrings. Miss Teresa, thank you so much for those. Angelise is over on Instagram. Y'all need to follow her. ANNJAHLISE. When I tell you this woman sings. What's up, lady? Good to see you over there. Got to hear her again at Grace by Nia this past Wednesday for the Let It Flow Jam session. And she is just so. Alexa, cancel. Sorry, y'all. All right, I'm getting off of here. I'm going to eat and rest. And thank you all. I will be kind of low key. Ma, if you don't hear from me next couple of days, I'm just resting, chilling, recouping, getting ready for what's next. There are some major updates. Sharon, leave me alone. And Tashad too. Alexa getting on my nerves. Well, look who's in the building. Look, Ma, it's Real Boston Media. He would really get me right now. I want to put a video up. Nicole, I'm screaming at Alexa because I haven't figured out how to turn Alexa off. Real. Mama Java said you late. No, Miss Teresa, that is actually, I can't say the name because if I say it right now, she'll respond, but it wasn't Siri. It was the other one. He's busy at work. Charlotte said, unplug her. No, then you got to go through the, nope. I'll just have to be off before 9:45 on days. That's just a reminder of my 10 o'clock. I'm getting off of here. I just want to share this quick video as we get ready to go. I posted it on social media, but I just want to share it here as well because Carmen was out this weekend. Good to see you in the room. Good to see you in the room. Ma, I know, not Ma trying to give me technical advice. Leave me alone, Sharon. Technical advice up here on Zuckerberg's Facebook. Yes, Auntie Java. I got one invoice to send out. And that, of course, Annalise, I got one invoice to send out, and then I'm really resting today. All right. What did Asia say? Listen, go follow that brother. If y'all don't, go follow Real Boston Media. And I got to share some clips from the panel that Shar, and Idosa from Diaspora Mass did a couple of weeks ago. Definitely a good event. All right, UCB, y'all trying to get y'all 90 minutes. It's not happening. We'll end right here. Lasagna, I miss seeing that. Have an awesome day on purpose. As Annette used to say early on in the Java Cafe, what was I going to say? Good morning on purpose. So Pastor said, be careful what you say around Alexa. All right, I'm getting off of here, y'all. Y'all have a good weekend. We all listen. Mama Java came hanging out. They had their own little corner. They stayed at Estella's the whole time, I think, and it was good. So, Ma, love you. Thank you. And I'm getting off of here, and we'll talk to y'all sometime tomorrow morning about 9 o'clock. Dates to keep in mind. Oh, I don't have anything major planned that I'm overseeing until May 11th. The Joseph Betancourt Health Fair will take place. We'll let you know about the location, but the next big thing that I'm doing will be on May 11th for the health fair. Just a couple of dates in April, and I promise we're going after this. Next week, I will be off site. Nia advertised, but they're doing auditions down at Foxwoods the first week in April, and we're going to go poke our nose around there and see what's going on at Grace by Nia at Foxwoods. The weekend after that, I have the honor and privilege of working with the Boston Athletic Association, and we are hosting and co-hosting 2 podcasts there over Marathon Weekend, and I put that up. Real, I'm not messing with you. I put that up, and so please plan on attending. I will say for you that have never been down to the marathon, especially since 2013, since the bombing, safety has been top notch ever since. But it's an experience. If you're from Boston and haven't been there, make your way out there. And I will go ahead and say Black Boston. Sometimes we feel that those type of events aren't for us. There is hella intentionality from the Boston Athletic Association, Jack Lorner, all of them there that are at the leadership in working with also Bank of America. We will be at the Runners Village and also in the main stage over there in the Copley area. And so please keep your ears open for details for that. On the 15th, we may curate a little watch party to watch the incoming runners. Also, the weekend after that, the 19th, our young people are coming together to talk about their experience with COVID and also wellness. We're doing that in collaboration with the Boston Public Health Commission and also Boston Public Schools on August 19th. So please keep your ears open for that. And then the week after that, we will be working with the Museum of Science around celebrating Earth Day. And that it will be on a global stage along with the marathon as well. And so we're getting out there a little bit. So keep your boy covered. That's it for April. I will let you all know now, probably the beginning of May, we're going to take some downtime. I need to just take a little downtime for some dental health care, nothing major. And I tell y'all all the time, my smile is purchased. So I'm about to upgrade it. No, I've been keeping up with my dental hygienist, and there's some things that she suggested that I do. And so we're going to go ahead and do that. All right. I'm getting off of here. A lot of breaks. I wish I did have a break, brother. It's coming though. It's coming. We got one coming in a couple of weeks. I'm getting Miss Teresa. Did y'all hear Miss Teresa? Talk about she's running. Something very special next week. I'll be hitting you up shortly. What you got going on, Pam? We raising some more money? All right. I'm off of here. What's up, James Mackey? What's up, Erica? Over on Instagram. Good to see y'all in the room this morning. Good to see y'all in the room. That's it for me. I'm off of here. Have a great day, everybody. Before you go, we haven't done this in a while. Do me a favor just to check in and see how everyone's doing. Put a what's up, Brandon Bedlam show off over on Instagram as well. Put one word in the comments that describe how your mental health is doing right now in the moment. Put one word in the comments to describe how you're doing this morning, and we will get ready to go. And Pastor Marion told Miss Teresa to run, girl, run. Mama said, Mother's Board, keep Sister Java in prayer. She's having surgery today. Which one's Sister Java? Who's having surgery? Is that who? Ma, let us know who that is. Mama Java said she's exhausted. Auntie Java said she's soaring. Auntie Java looked good, y'all. This little new look she got with the short hair and just coming through what she went through with cancer. Ooh, my shoulders just went up. I felt that. Love you, Auntie. Love you. Hey, what's up, Mika? I haven't seen. Where were you this weekend? I missed you. Probably busy doing all your wonderful stuff. I see you out there post partnership with all those connections and networking and doing your thing. Good to see you in the room. Pastor Marion said that she is blessed. Charlotte said she's grateful for another year. Is it your birthday? Grateful for another year. Sister Soraya said she's feeling better. Didn't know you weren't feeling well. Hope you're doing well. Lasagna is telling Mama Java to rest. Tashad rather said that she is feeling hopeful. Tashad's sister will be with us this week. We'll be chatting with her in the Java Cafe. And Miss Teresa, I agree. Auntie Java did look wonderful. Lasagna said that she is grateful. Mama Java said she is resting. And it's 9:53. UCB members, y'all ain't slick. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a great day, everybody, and we shall talk to you soon.